And recently, we have servant leadership. When I heard servant leadership for the first time, naturally, I wanted to know how different is it from the traditional leadership. We are all familiar with the leaders encouraging people to do their jobs by providing them with guidance, direction, and motivation. The main focus, of course, would be to improve the business position of the company or the organization in the market. Servant leadership is when the leader's main goal and responsibility is to provide service to their people. A servant leader actually focuses on the people who are working with him and tries to improve them, develop them so that they can contribute in more productively to the company and growth of the organization. A very warm welcome to everyone to the 61st chapter of e-Bookery English. My name is Shamla, and with me is Smita Saikia, and together we will be hosting this session today. Founders of e-Bookery English, Anil Thomas and Faisal Ibrahim, and this is an online platform for storytelling and book review and to bring together authors from different parts of the world. Once again, welcome one and all to the 61st chapter of e-Bookery English. Our speakers today are Sneha Khanwelkar and Saira Ranj. Our storyteller today is Smita Saikia. Welcome on board, Smita.
Thank you, Shamla ma'am. Thank you so much. Once again, I give my heartiest thanks to Anil sir for introducing me the platform of Brain City. In every session, we all actually get chance to meet all intellectual, to learn new thoughts, new insight about books, about ideas and all. So it's a great honor to be with all learn people. And of course, for inviting me to tell my stories, it's a great privilege for me. So today, again, I'm going to share a story, one of my own story. The title is The Ride. Pari, I'm scared. Tightening her grip on Pari's shoulder, Shima shouted, "Don't worry, Seema, darling. I will take care of you." Pari replied, No. Pari, please ride slowly. We have enough time. And this road is very congested and narrow. See how these people are driving? If you drive below the speed, other vehicles will throw you out of the road. And this road is not narrow actually, but because of those garbage dumps. Can you see? Now please concentrate on your driving. No talking, okay? Because they don't care if you die. Seema put on her helmet while replying Pari. Pari gave remarks. I know, but I cannot stay calm if I see these people who think that they have all the liberty to break rules because of their money. As Pari kept talking to Seema, one long car passed by them in speed. Pari's scooter couldn't hold the force, and so she slowed down. A few meters ahead, a kid from that car threw a cold drink bottle and some empty packets of chips from the window. Pari moved her head side to hint to Seema about her frustration. Yes, Seema replied to Pari. I saw. Before Pari could say anything, suddenly one such chips packet flew back and got stuck to Pari's helmet face guard. Pari lost her balance because of the obstruction of her vision, and both the girls were about to fall down, but Pari somehow managed to stop her scooter before any accident could take place. Pari waited for a while on the side of the road. Seema gave her a concerned look with shrinking eyes. Both Both saw each other's faces quietly and then began the ride again. Seema, did you see that? How was their code of conduct on the road? That was a silent remark from a rich person that they can do anything. All these road safety talks, rules are meaningless. Now nobody comes to punish such people. Sima replied to Pari. These days, people do not use their minds. If they did, they won't have thrown their litter on the road, but instead use the dustbin properly. And Seema suddenly stopped. And you see also, what are they teaching their kids? Throw your soft drink bottle and chips packet from a car window? Pari raged. See, Pari, the wind is blowing from the opposite side. Be careful. It's very dusty. Seema alerted Pari about the sudden gust of wind. I'm wearing helmet, dear. No worries. You put on your helmet, please. Uh, okay. I have already. Seema replied back. Pari gave a small smile and said to Seema, good. After driving for a few minutes, they reached a railway crossing, where a train was crossing. Suddenly, Seema spoke out. Hey, Pari, I think something serious has happened on the other side. There is a big crowd. I can see through the gap between the moving train bogies. Pari very carelessly replied, yeah, must be an accident. When they crossed and reached the other side, they came to know that an accident had taken place there. Pari and Seema tried to see the victim and asked the witness standing there. They both were shocked to find the cause of the accident. Because of the wind, a paper plate from a roadside garbage bin had flown and got plastered on the glass in front of the driver. The driver couldn't see anything for a second he was also in speed, and because of the speed, the car hit a tree nearby by the roadside. Buddy, you saw the car? Yeah, the big long car. Just we. Here I finished my story, and I hope you all understood what I was trying to convey. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
So now it's time for our invited guest, and we are very lucky to have such a intellectual in our platform. I request our honorable host Anil Thomas sir to introduce our today's guest to the audiences. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Nitismita. Thank you, Shamla, for your unfailing support on this platform. Thank you for everything. And I gladly welcome you all on the behalf of e-Bookery team for the prestigious occasion of e-Bookery celebrating 61 session today. The concept of bringing readers and writers together on the same platform is our unique selling proposition, if I call it rightly. Sheer coincidence of fate forces Sneha to change careers from teaching to technical writing. She wants to emphasize on that. She's a technical writer as well. A turbulent change of events alters her life when she becomes a widow at the age of 38. She redefines her limits of commitment, perseverance, believes, and rebuilt her life through personal narratives with the directness and humor. She tells how deserving she was. No profound truths or pearls of wisdom. This is a simple story of resilient woman who emerged as a winner. Sneha Khanwelkar, by trade, she is a teacher with a double master's degree, and she's a trucker, actively participates in social activities, mastered in tango dance, and that is a Argentinian dance form, I believe. She's a classic example of woman empowerment. Sneha ji, welcome on to e-Bookery platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Anil. That was a good introduction. And there's so much of warmth in your voice. I know it's very warm around you also, but this was really nice. Thank you so much. So hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here on the e-Bookery show, thanks to my friend Jayashree Kumar. All of you on the call are a distinguished audience, and I'm glad to present my book to you today. Deserving, a real life story of a widow who rebuilt her life. The title itself says it's my life story, so no guesses about what's in it. I know I'm not the only one to have lost my spouse, but that led me to break stereotypes. Has anyone in the audience broken a stereotype in life? Could say yes in the chat, probably.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, few and far in between. Okay, awesome. But that's all brave hearts, ma'am. So last year, a friend in a mass communication college asked me for a 1-minute video of breaking stereotypes. I sent the video with one instance of how I broke a stereotype. Then a few more instances flashed in my mind where I did break stereotypes in many, many ways. That was the first time I thought I can write a story. Till then, it was only the others who used to nudge me, urge me, push me to writing my life story. A friend said that I'd handle my life in a way that could inspire others to overcome their circumstances. Or my son used to often tell me that you must share how you overcame your challenges. He used to be amused to see me reading self-help books, and because he believed that I could teach people how to live life. And after he started working, he's in the hospitality industry, so he meets a lot of people and a variety of people. And he said, I see so many people who are in the similar phase as you are, but they lack your lively spirit and approach towards life. Even my cousin brother, he used to tell me that what you have done takes a lot of courage and very few people can do it. Now, with so many people pushing me for so many years, early this year was the only time I thought I was ready to write. And as if on cue, I saw an advertisement by Sweta Samota. She was the mentor for writing and publishing books, self-publishing books, at a very nominal charge. I thought I have nothing to lose, so I joined her 5-day course. And mentors often say things that strike a chord in your heart. Sweta said, the story is already in your head. You only have to commit time to put it on paper. And that nailed it for me. I joined her batch, and for a whole month under her mentorship, I started writing my book. And that's how I became an author. During the course, I named my book as Breaking Stereotypes. Then, as the details evolved into my life story, I tried to identify what was the driving force for me. I brainstormed with Jignasa, who designed the cover pages. While I faced challenges, I had a restless feeling. I had a feeling that there's some
Yes, Sneha, please unmute and go on. I unmuted everyone.
Thank you, Anil. So when I was discussing with Jignasa, I thought, while I was facing the challenges, what was the underlying thought in my mind? The underlying thought was, okay, I have this much, but I deserve better. I cannot accept it as it is. I had to get the best in the given scenario. That's how the title was finalized. And then Jignasa came up with this beautiful cover page. So I was broken, shattered, helpless, found myself, accepted the situation, and evolved. That's how the meaningful cover page came up. So finally, I self-published the book and released it on Amazon. Though the challenge to write the book was of 1 month, I took 2 full months to complete the book. And then I was like relaxed. I thought, I've done my bit. But no, it opened another chapter. For 2 months, I found myself talking with so many people. I spent half the day, 3 to 4 hours of the day, I was talking to people either on the phone or chat or messenger. And it was so heartwarming, the feedback. It was, at times, I would cry with the people who were talking to me. I would cry sometimes with the feedback they'd write for me. I'd like to share a couple of feedback with you. Anil, can you please share a slide?
Yeah, sure. The YouTube link, right?
No, the slide with the word
Okay.
feedback.
Right, let me go to it.
Number 4.
Okay. Just a second, please.
Yeah. Would you like me to share, Anil?
Yeah, please, sir, because it's not still loading it. If you can do it, yes, please go ahead. I will open it for you.
Okay,
You can share the screen. Yeah.
You have disabled it for a minute.
Yeah, you can do it now.
Yeah. So can you see the feedback slide?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please change it to maybe a slideshow. Better to run slideshow.
Okay. Slideshow. Yeah. Can I ask somebody in the audience to read it for me, please?
Yeah, sure. I am reading.
Okay.
Every chapter is a life lesson. In all the facets written in the book, somewhere you find yourself and try to relate with it. The book is not just for women, but men as well. The takeaways at the end of each chapter are applicable to everyone. I read them twice and will take screenshot of those to read them when I am down. Sneha shares her approach towards a situation making the readers introspect about how we handle our life.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Shobha, would you like to read?
Yeah, of course. So to continue with the reading, it's like, Sneha's loss in her middle age are more than average. The good news is she lost many things except her strong will. That will and actions associated with it is what makes the middle page a compelling read. The reader is left wondering, what will this lady do next? Okay, it broadens, it borders on a fast-paced movie, and that's what Sneha is all about. Yeah, they say change is not easy. If you read this book, you will realize how many changes she needed to do and how dizzying it must have been. Oh yes, and we appreciate all that, Sneha. We've been with you through that, so we know how encouraging it is.
Thank you so much, Shobha, for reading this for me.
Yeah. Okay.
So this feedback was definitely good for me, and I felt warm enough. But when I was going through the challenges, I didn't set out to prove a point. I just went with the flow of events and did what was best for me at that point of time. I was brought up in Pune in a liberal nuclear family where sharing, caring, love, laughter, and warmth flourished. I'm the third child of my parents. The warmth at home took care of our little, sibling fights. My father was a journalist and my mother was a true homemaker, strong and very friendly. She raised 3 children without family or friends, far away in a place in Pune, which was very close to the Pune University. and that was on the outskirts at that point of time. I grew up to be bold, carefree, friendly, and independent. Out of choice, I married into a family that was patriarchal, and we followed rules set up by my father-in-law. I liked the discipline and distribution of work. The family was a large one. My father-in-law held it together, and he was the eldest in the family. So we always had visitors, people stayed at home, and my mother-in-law was truly in charge of the kitchen, and I'd assist her from buying stuff from the market to cutting, cleaning, arranging, decorating, and whatever. But she'd be the one to actually make the food. We used to celebrate festivals and birthdays, and about 20 people used to be at home. So I was happy having so many people around, dressing up for different festivals, cooking, decorating, and all that. Always adjusting to the likes of the guests. My father-in-law used to encourage me to study, and I did both my MA and my B.Ed after marriage. In fact, I did my B.Ed after my son was 1.5 years of age. In 19 years of marriage, my life revolved around relatives, family, friends, not so much of friends. We really didn't have time to nurture the friends that we had or make new friends. My husband was a first generation businessman, and I was a school teacher. My son was the joy in the family, and he made life meaningful. I'd mellowed down and had got used to the following the norms of the family set by the elders. Then tragedy hit. I lost my husband to cancer. The family dynamics changed, and I was completely jolted. When you lose your husband, the equation with everything around you changes, even your own self. I realized that society doesn't know how to deal with widows, especially young widows who are breadwinners. Society is trapped in a 100-year-old tradition where widows are isolated and live a subdued life. I had a restless feeling that I deserve better from life, and I took baby steps towards creating a life for myself and my son. Thanks to my parents and their upbringing, my childhood confidence and independent nature was back with a bang, and I took the world head on. 17 years ago, terms like women empowerment was not known. Slowly, I found my joy. There's a song in the Hindi movie, Dil Chahta Hai. It has something like, Hum hai naye, andaz kyun ho purana. So that kind of influenced me a lot because the world had changed for me. And I took that approach. Instead of fitting into the system, I created my own path. It was a new canvas for me, and I was ready to paint it all with colors. I took the road less traveled. Yes, I changed careers from teaching in a school to the software industry as a technical writer. At that time, nobody even knew about the field. They satisfied themselves by saying, oh, she's doing data entry job. Oh, she left a secure job. They felt that I will miss the respect that comes with the profession of a teacher. But I felt that I had already earned my name, fame, and glory as a teacher. And I believed that my skills would help me do it again. People can take away your money, your property, tangible things, but they can't take away your knowledge and your skills. So I enjoyed my new phase of life in the IT industry. And with the new career, my life changed, my lifestyle changed, and everything turned out to be better because learning was happening. The change was doing me good. I was already in my 40s and I had 20 years of working experience behind me. Yet, I was treated as a fresher in the industry. But with sheer hard work and perseverance, I cleared my craft and delivered it too. Soon, I earned my name in the industry, and they started taking me seriously. I had learned a lot being a teacher, and of course through life, dealing with issues on the fly, risk management, teamwork, all these things are all combined. And soon people started noticing me in the industry and called me a woman of substance. I earned my name and respect in the technical writing field too. And of course, a lot of clout. All this goes where I took about 6-7 years to, be working in that kind of top gear mode, gear 5, where every time it is about going beyond, pushing yourself, doing more. And of course, the strain started showing. My hemoglobin used to drop dangerously. My stamina was affected. My menstrual cycle went for a toss. Loss of blood took its toll. And one day my doctor said, Sneha, you are losing blood. It's not a product that can be manufactured. I had to pause. For the first time in my life of 21 years of working, I took a 3-month break. I consciously made lifestyle changes, applying office rules while taking decisions. Like when you work in a sprint or a project, every 6 weeks, you review what you have done. You check what went well, what you should stop, what you should continue, and what did not go well. So I started thinking on similar lines for my personal life, and I made my lifestyle changes like that and started afresh. So far, touch wood, all's been well for the last 10 years for me. A positive outcome of pausing was that I decided to pamper myself. While I started taking swimming classes and gym, I also decided to travel to foreign lands. How many of you have traveled to foreign lands for a vacation? You can type yes in the chat. Yes, I'm sure many of you have traveled. Oh, yes. Isn't it a whole new experience? I found that I was breaking boundaries, getting out of my comfort zone, and crossed all boundaries emotionally, mentally, physically. I had these small fears, of things, something like climbing an escalator. When I first went to Dubai to my friend's place, her name is Jayshree Sawan. She took me to these malls, and of course in Dubai, even that time, about 10, 12 years ago, there were escalators. She used to lovingly take me and, sort of gently make me climb them. But I used to be damn scared. In fact, I would like to share a picture of mine of my first ride, where we were so happy that I actually climbed the escalator and made it. Anil, shall I share my screen?
Yes, please, Snehaji.
So this is my first escalator ride in Dubai Mall. We were all very thrilled, and then after that, of course, there's been no stopping, and I'm now quite good, but still I am very conscious when I'm getting on and getting off an escalator. Now, all this traveling abroad, traveling alone, all this helped me a lot when I had to decide to leave my hometown. I wasn't scared of a new place. I wasn't scared of people. I got a grip on myself, and I feel satisfied that my life this is how it changed and the way it has molded me over a period of time. Whenever I used to be caught in work, I used to sometimes think, I have not developed any hobbies. I have no answers for that. What activities do I do to keep myself happy? One, I found some peace and solace in joining the Rotary Club or Lakeside in Bangalore, where I could do some social service for people. And that kept me grounded in Bangalore per se. But for other things, I kept thinking, what is it that makes me happy? What is it that I want to do? It took me months to get answers. But then I'm always excited by new things, and I don't seek perfection or lots of knowledge, especially where hobbies are concerned. I'm just happy doing it at that moment, and that approach helped. Let's say I started learning this dance form, Argentine tango. But COVID has brought it to an end. So now I've taken up trekking, and being out in the open, close to nature, all this rejuvenates me. So I'm definitely delighted most of the time. So the book just does not contain only my story. This is a story which can, be happening to many other people, even at this moment of time. And I'm sure all of you have great experiences in your lives, but I humbly request you to take a sneak peek into my life's journey in my book, Deserving. It's available on Amazon. Anil, will you please share the links?
I will definitely, yes.
Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you.
Great. Great, ma'am. Bravo. You came out as a winner. And while listening to you, I was like watching a movie of, my mother's life. She was also a widow, and she became widow at the age of 37. She was very young. So I'm sure your book will be very inspiring book, and hats off to you. You are encouraging yourself step by step and enjoying your life and experimenting with someday trekking, someday with dancing and all. Really great. So Anil sir, should we now request our audience?
Yeah, maybe let's take a review from. Yes,
sir.
please. At least maybe take it from 1 or 2, and then before we move on. Yeah.
Would you like to invite or just?
Let's keep it open. Maybe Dr. Sujitra, you want to go on review?
Oh, we haven't heard Jan sir.
Yes, please. Yes,
for quite a long time.
Yeah, invite Jan sir. Yes.
So Jan sir. Yes, ma'am. Please, Jan sir. Are you there? I think sir is got disconnected. As I saw, he was there. Suchitra ma'am, please.
Yeah. Good evening to one and all. It's amazing to be part of such a wonderful discussion forum. It's always a privilege to be part of it. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And both the discussions today, before I start, I would start with the introduction, what was given, a leader. Since I'm a leader of my organization, I would just like to say a few words on that. Yes, we did change our roles. And I suppose because of the pandemic, if we would not have, maybe we would have perished. So all of us have grown, and we have really this 21st century skills that we are looking for. Gives us lots of opportunities to learn and therefore definitely change for the mass. To come back to the 2 books, Nitushmita, the book that you discussed, the story, it's once again like last week, such simple story, but so much to say. A thing that is being listened to, like watched by each one of us. But how many of us have thought to put it down or pen it down and reach out to many? I think that's the way with smaller crowds, and then it goes to the mass. And that is the time I think we all need to think. And if we do our bit, if we ensure that our scenario does not do that, I think we will definitely come to a change. And to talk of Mrs. Sneha, amazing. That's really amazing. With God's grace, I have never ever thought of any such difficulty, because my life was a little rosy with coming from an okay family, getting married to an army officer, and having a wonderful life ahead, both career and qualifications and everything. But it's such an inspiring story that you've written. I think I must go through that book. Bouncing back is something which we all need to teach us, our children and the generation. And you are a true example. Excellent. The way you have taken up into different hobbies and then coming back to it. Nothing could stop you. I think that's amazing. That's all of us. We need to think in the similar manner that life is to carry on, whether it's pandemic, whether we've lost someone, whether it's our health. We just have to dream of a better tomorrow. And that is what you have done in your book. I will definitely go through it, ma'am. And great, what an inspiration.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Suchitra, ma'am.
I really mean it. This is what it came from my heart. That's the reason why I just raised my hands and I wanted to give an indication to Anil sir that let me speak out first. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone has any questions, please ask me now.
Thank you, Suchitra ma'am, for such nice review. And any of our audience would like to give a short, brief review? Half of the session we had now. So shall we move, sir? Anil sir?
Yes, let's go move on. Yeah. Okay, coming to, thank you Nitu Smita, thank you Sneha ji for that wonderful book review, and definitely we're all going to buy this book for sure. I have put the links in the chat box as well. And coming to the second book and speaker, the Gacha Gocha is a 2015 psychological drama written by Kannada author Vivek Shanbag and was translated into English by Srinath Perur. Set in Bangalore, the book is about an unnamed narrator who recollects about his dysfunctional family's rags to riches story, which results in troubling behavioral changes. Very interesting, actually, story. Changes in each of them. The title is a made-up phrase, so I could not actually pronounce it. Invented by the narrator's wife and her brother, which means tangled up beyond repair. Now, coming to the speaker, Saira ji. What can I say about Saira ji? Because I was actually going through all internet, and I know otherwise also Saira ji, we've been talking for quite some time. And 2012, this is what was posted in the Time Out magazine, I believe. Public speaking is a piece of cake for the lucky few. Meanwhile, the rest of us wake at 4 a.m. in the cold sweat in the morning before a big presentation, need help. And the Time Out was actually talking about Saira Ranj in the year 2012. Now it's almost a decade and she's still going very, very strong. She's a painter and a founder of Create It. And she's a traveler. What can I say? I mean, what is she not? Welcome on to e-Bookery platform. Thank you so much, Saira ji, for coming on to e-Bookery platform for the second time. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you very much. It's lovely hearing you, Sneha. Filled us up completely. Very interesting. A warm note to begin the day with. Going on to the novel that I'm going to talk to you all about today, I just want to break it up into a few parts because it's fiction and I just want to give you an idea. So firstly, we're going to go into who wrote it, a little bit of context on that. We'll get into the claim to fame, how it was received the way it is, and a little bit about the storyline and the content and why I personally think you should read it. So that's how I want to take this review through today. Talking about who wrote it, which Anil has covered, but I'll mention it again. Gacha Gocha is written in 2015. It's a psychological drama and it just has about 122 pages. So the attraction is, it's a quick read, but it's a quick, satisfying, deep read. And it is written by Vivek Shanbag, like Anil mentioned. This particular author has written 5 short story collections, 3 novels, and he's also directed plays. It's one of the first books that he has, which has been translated to English, and it has been translated by Srinath Perur. And I would absolutely say I don't know Kannada, and I haven't read the original, but Srinath Perur's rendition of this book is brilliant. I love the read. Getting into the technicalities, the claim to fame, let's see how the book was received. Deborah Smith of The Guardian reviewed that the book was both fascinatingly different from much of Indian writing, in English and provides a masterclass in crafting, particularly on the power of leaving things unsaid. Okay, I agree with that completely. Lucy Scholes of The Independent took note of the comparisons to Chekhov and wrote that brevity, the art of using less words, brevity serves Shanbag's storytelling to great effect, not least because much of what makes the narrative so gripping lies in what he leaves unsaid. So that, you can really feel that when you read this book. One more thing, the New York Times included Gacha Gochar in the literary critics listing of the best books of 2017. The book was longlisted for International Dublin Literary Award and was a finalist for the Los Angeles Times Book Prize in 2018. So why I'm telling you all this is to let you know how powerful this book has gripped us globally, even though it's such a simple, small book. Vivek Shanbag basically masterfully touches upon why we read stories. Now, Sneha today also mentioned the same thing. Why do we read stories in the first place? Books are written so that we have to thoroughly explain certain circumstances. It shows the audience the context of that circumstance, and how it leads up to that context. Now, in this particular book, flashbacks are a key element of writing because past and perspective are essential to explaining how and why what is happening in the book. The narrator kills ants. He talks about why India is experiencing a socio-economic reorganization in the book. Everything is about context, a story's past, present, and how the two influence each other. So although you're reading a very simple story, there's so much more thrown in. And if you really get into the layers of it, the language is unbelievable. Let me just tell you a little bit about the content or the storyline. Now, before I get into the story, now we had Sneha saying she is talking about Bangalore, and this particular story is set in Bangalore. Now, for a person like me who's not grown up in India, it's very fascinating because my romance with India is 2 to 3 weeks every year. So I have all these descriptions of India that when I land there, and the things that I see is all fresh and beautiful in my head. And this author brings all of that alive through his book. Now, this book is set in Bangalore. It's about an unnamed narrator who reminisces about his dysfunctional family. It's a story of rags to riches. Your typical, you think about it, in a movie, it's so easily portrayed, but in the book, you can see the changes happen and how long it's taken, the rags to riches story. And it's beautifully described. Also, through the change, what happens is everything changes. Behavioral changes in each of the characters come through. So from a cramped, ant-infested house to a spacious bungalow, a family finds itself making a transition in many ways. The young, sensitive narrator is in a swirl as he sees the changes. Now, he's a little boy in the beginning, and then he develops into this adult who gets married. That's what we see. And we can see how he tries to flee every day to an old world cafe where he's trying to get some solace from his life. It's a close-knit family, and the characters in this book is just a few. I remember while reading Harry Potter, I had to actually list down the characters and, to keep tag of who is what and what powers they have and how it is. And some of us are very good at retaining this, but some of us, I'm a person who highlights and needs to really get into all of that. In this, about 6-7 characters, that's it. But the story is written very intensely. So what we see is marriages are discussed, conflict which brews in the background comes to the forefront. The title, Gacha Gochar, is intriguing because you wonder what is Gacha Gochar. And it's just a nonsense phrase. It's just something that they come up with, one of the characters come up with, and it technically in their little language, they mean tangled beyond repair. So it's like a knot that's tied and you try to untie it and you just cannot. You struggle with that knot. So the story is on so many levels talking about all of these different things that tie up, And it also talks about the flashbacks, as in the old generation's ways, the new generation's way. It talks about feminism. It includes battles between mother and son, mother and his new wife regarding a woman's place within the family. So many elements are discussed of the family. Feminism undertones are there, which emerge towards the end. And yet you see the whole in an Indian context. So it's beautiful to see the power struggles that has to happen in this particular book. I'll just mention some of the key characters. Now you have the narrator, you have Anita, the narrator's wife, you have Amma, the narrator's mother, who plays very iconic role, the Appa, the narrator's father, Chikkappa. Chikkappa is like this central character who is the uncle and who happens to, around whom the whole story is spun around. Okay, a key element in how the story goes from rags to riches. And Malati is the elder sister of the narrator. These are some of the central characters, and you see the behavior around these people. Now, keeping all of this in mind, why would I tell you to read the story? I mean, other than the fact that it's been acclaimed. What did I personally like about the story is the simplicity of this novel, complicated but very real emotions, and the language. Now, also one of the things, I will go into the language right away, and then I'll tell you something else. I'll read out certain excerpts from the book so that you get an idea of the language that I'm talking about. One of them. Words, after all, are nothing by themselves. They burst into meaning only in the minds they have entered. If you think about it, even those held to be gods incarnate seldom speak of profound things. It's their day-to-day utterances that are imbued with sublime meanings. And who's to say the gods cannot take the form of a restaurant waiter when they choose to visit us? This is something that we do come across quite a lot in our Indian narrative, but it's expressed so beautifully in English. Another part that I want to just touch upon. Anita did not participate in the events of that morning. She'd been inside the house and she felt that an injustice had been done to the woman. But does that justice necessarily entail shooting oneself in the foot? Even in the flush of victory, Amma and Malti noticed Anita's dissent. It's an unwritten rule that all members come to the family's aid when it is threatened. I'm sure a lot of us here can understand that. Anita had broken that rule. She should not have. Silence descended on the house. It was somehow rendered thicker by the lingering aroma of that woman's curry. Amma must have sensed that this was the sort of silence that, left unchallenged, could consume the family from within. So she began to speak non-stop. So that's the kind of phrases and language that this book has. It's elegantly written, punctuated with moments like this. It has unexpected humor in parts, and it's quietly enthralling. These are the reasons that I feel that you should read this book. And another one thing is, a lot of us here, I'm sure, are people who not only read voraciously, we want to all write our books. Now, Sneha has written her book and she's talking about it and she's promoting it so elegantly, so gracefully. In 2009, I remember, I've always written. I've been writing since I was a kid. And I've got lots of acknowledgements also for it. But have I written a book? No. In 2009, I said, I have to write a book. It's 2021. I haven't written a book yet. I have a whole collection, okay? I've not published it. But a book like this, 122 pages book suddenly makes you think, New York is talking about it. The Guardian is talking about it. Something as simple as this can go global and can, you can be imprinted in the pages of history. So what's stopping you from writing that book? So it motivates writer to just get into it. These are the things I feel that you should definitely try and read this book. Now, I'm open for anything anybody has to ask regarding this book or anything anybody has to comment. I would love to hear from you all. That's what I particularly would like to touch upon in terms of this book, but feel free to ask me.
Thank you so much, Ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was so nice to listen to your voice. And after a long time, the story listening or storytelling, both are very, very interesting factors in life. When we were kids, maybe we were listening. After a very long time, I enjoyed your voice modulation, your words, your story, narration. Everything was so beautiful. Thank you so much. Definitely, we will listen to it. We will read the book, definitely. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much. I don't know who spoke to me.
May I know who was
Vasudha.
it? I mean, I can't.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm from Bangalore, actually.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, my name is Vasudha. I'm Major's friend, Major Narayanan's friend, actually.
Okay. I got it.
So I'm sorry I have not introduced myself. My name is Vasudha. Thank you once again. Very beautiful.
Thank you, Vasudha.
Sarah ji, your friend is here, I believe. Nisha, you can unmute, yeah, please.
Oh, I'd love to hear from Nisha. I haven't seen her or heard from her for a long time.
Hey,
Yes.
Saira, how are you?
Fine, Nisha.
I'm not in a position to switch on the video, darling. I did
No
not
worries.
see how much time I took.
No worries.
As what do I say? As fluent and flowing as only Saira can be. Yes, Saira, I'm Sneha here. I love the way you connected your talk to mine, or rather my talk to yours. And I love the way you talk so casually to us, as if we are sitting next to you in your room. And, I really appreciate the fact that you wrote down the experiences and finally made it to a book. Looking forward to seeing what you will do with what you already have stacked up with it at your end. So what is the next step for you? Will you be writing more books?
Would I be writing more books?
Yes.
There's a little bit of a disturbance. Okay. I definitely plan to write. It's just, see, I'll tell you something. Seth Godin has said, do bad work. And that really inspires me. Because you see, everything is so relative. I write and I think, somebody else reads it, they may say, wow, it's brilliant. But for you, you're not, you just want to produce that amazing book. And then time just flies by and you realize life is short. So I shouldn't. I should listen to Seth Godin and just get it out there. Thank you. I should. Because I just, when you come in between people who write and read and, get inspired, then you're like, yeah, it's high time you did it, Saira.
Yeah.
I should.
Good. Waiting to see more books from you.
Show your book, please. You have a copy there. And I would like to ask whether it is all fiction or it's related to your experiences or something.
You're asking me, Dr. Thomas?
Yes.
Doctor, we could not hear you well. Actually, I'm not very sure. Yeah. Can you increase the volume?
I was wondering whether it is all fiction or it is based on some experiences you had. And then I was asking whether you have a copy there, you can show us the cover.
No. I haven't published everything. Everything is in soft copy. So I have it on, on my computer, on my iPad and things like that. But I have a Facebook page, a private Facebook page, which I've been running since 2006, I think. And it has a lot of stories in it. So I write poems and I write a lot of fictional stories as well, short stories. Yeah, most of it is inspired. Well, most of it is inspired from real life, but it's not real life. I mean, it's all fictional. Most people tend to write self-help books, and that's, though I like to read it, that's not what I want to be known as an author. I'd rather be an author for fiction. And very honestly, I like I like Gillian Flynn books. That's a very dark psychological thrillers. I like things like that. So there's a lot of that kind of writing in my work.
Great, thank you. Major
Major
Narayan, are you trying to unmute?
Yeah. Can I unmute myself?
Please. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
It seems Saira and Sneha are so fond of each other, and the beneficiaries are we're all the listeners. And both of them have written wonderfully well. And Saira has spoken very high about Sneha, and vice versa also. The meaning of the word Saira is nothing but bird, or someone who can roam around freely. And it originated from the Arabian language. Saira means Sair karne wali, or firne wali. So which literally means someone who is a travel enthusiast, who's been bitten by the travel bug. And Saira means it also means free soul, someone who can go to places and learn from experiences.
Awesome.
What a great word that you've been able to that is unraveled before us. Truly, I love the way that you've been able to give words to whatever you thought. And Sneha preceded you with a wonderful narration of her own book, especially the mad rave that one has been subjected to these days, and how after going to the doctor, what the doctor had advised, and how one can again free ourselves if only we're able to get ourselves away from the rat race or the mundane activities. Both the books, rather the both speakers, have done more than justice to the books, and it makes the reader and the reviewer as pleasurable as one another. I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of both these reviews, and thank you all the very best.
Thank you, Major.
Thank you, Major Saab.
Very much.
Major Saab, thank you.
Pleasure is mine. Welcome.
Nitu, can I call Nina John?
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah. Nina Mama, are you there?
Yeah, can you see me? Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Sneha, I haven't come across before, but that was a wonderful, beautiful story about career transition and leading your own life and making a success of it. I really love that. Sarah, I'm not sure, are you a Toastmaster from Delhi? Hi, Deepak Menon and all of us have kind of said hi. So I think we've come across each other in Toastmaster circles. Yes. So definitely love that, that review was so in-depth and, uncovering all the layers. And I think that's the thing about reading books. Each one of us brings a different perspective to it based on our own experiences. Both of you spoke about Bangalore, but they're two different Bangalores. So I guess we've been Bangalored in a way through the two of you. Great experience listening to both of you. Thank you so much for this opportunity and wishing both of you all the best. And Saira, just put that book out there. Don't wait for people and stuff and just go for it. That's all that works. All the best to both of you. Thank you. Thank you, Anil, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nina ma'am. Thank you for your kind words.
Yeah, that was from the heart. So.
Sir, do we have
anyone
time?
else would like to provide, give a feedback?
Yes, if I can. I'm
Yes,
Manju.
please.
I'm Sneha's school friend. I know her since we were in KG class. And she is a wonderful person. And this is the first time in my life that I've attended a bookery show. I never ever attended one, though though I love to read books. And it was a pleasure hearing Sneha and Saira speak together. I mean, hearing both of you out. And Saira, your book also sounds very interesting. And Sneha's book I have read. It really is wonderful. It's an inspiration. And she's always a motivator. I always tell her this, and she thinks, she doesn't believe she's a motivator. Maybe she's believing it now. But she's a wonderful person. And Saira, I would really love to read your book too. It was a pleasure connecting with everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nina. Thank you.
Nina. Thank you, Nina, ma'am.
Thanks.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes before we wind up the session.
Sushil, Sridhar, Siddharth, any of you would like to provide a feedback?
Hi. So today we had two speakers. So I noticed like two qualities that I admire. Like on one side, like we have Sneha ma'am who's like what quality I know is like a strong woman who rise from the failure. And on the other hand, like we had Saira ma'am. So like she explained it very nicely. So and so both the books I'm going to add it to my list. So I'll be reading it soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bhavna ma'am. Bhavna ma'am, you are around? Okay.
I think she is not.
Yeah, she's not around.
Okay.
Okay, can we close the session?
Yes, please. Is Tahmina still on board? Tahmina is from Pakistan. Let me see. Tahmina is not there. Okay, right. Okay, yeah, please, yeah.
Thank you everyone for this lovely session today from Saira and from Sneha. We thoroughly enjoyed the book reviews, the personal journey. It was wonderful, very motivating, very inspiring, and we look forward to more and more sessions. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Anil, and thank you so much for your kind words, Shyamla. I'm so happy that I connected with Anil, and I'm here today on this show. Means a lot to me. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Snehaji. Thank you, Saraji.
Thank you all.
Take care and have a very good night.
Yeah, have a good week.
And happy Independence Day to everybody.
Happy Independence Day. Yes.
Happy Independence Day. Thank you and wishing you all. Thank you, the same.
Thank you, Sneha ma'am. Saira ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Nitusmita.
Nitusmita.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Nitusmita is also part of army.
Strong. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night to all.